The revelations that the Lord gave us, they are great, about the Melchizedek the king, about Melchizedek for the nations, about Melchizedek today, about Jesus being for today forever a priest, not according to the order of Aaron, but according to the order of Melchizedek forever. The Lord has sworn and will not relent. You are a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. He swore, and he shed the blood of the Lamb on the cross of Calvary because the blood seals any oath. This is the last oath that the Lord has sworn, that Jesus today is Melchizedek. This means that he is for the peoples, for all the peoples of the earth today. And this painting, this picture that we saw at one of the exhibitions, it symbolizes Israel and what is happening there. There are prophets on the left, on the right, little bit cut off, but in the middle is the image of Esther. And the word that we give today for this situation is, I went to the garden of nuts. And as I was choosing the word to give for this gathering, for this time, I experienced this word, and I went down to the garden of nuts to see the verdure of the valley. And I came to Israel to see whether the vine had budded. I came to Israel and to Jerusalem to see whether the pomegranates had bloomed. And you know what I want to say? That they are blooming. I see it in the spirit, in my spirit, that they are blooming. They have not withered. And I want to speak shortly. This word that is in this picture, just look, this maid, this bride doesn't look very happy. And the one who is holding her doesn't hold her like her beloved. And his face, his countenance is more like a Gentile than a king of Israel. And I want to speak about two marriages. So the king and Haman went to dine with Queen Esther. Why did the husband, the man who chose Esther, come with an enemy? Why did Esther's husband was friends with the enemy of Israel? And when we look at the situation, as Esther was chosen to be the queen, she was brought up as an orphan, and Mordecai, her uncle, was her uncle, and she didn't marry by her will. She did not choose this groom. She didn't have the right to choose. She didn't fall in love. But she was taken by force, and she was presented to that casting. She was rubbed with oils, whether she wanted or not, and then she was presented, forced to be chosen as at an auction. Doesn't sound like a free love, a free choice, does it? Perhaps today's girls would dream about it, but this is not love. It was a necessity. And she didn't take any gifts except that she was instructed for. She didn't ask for anything because she didn't want anything. And when she was in that round walk with all those brides, you know, and it was like Miss World, Miss Universe, the contest, the casting, and she was chosen by king. The king liked her. And the king loved Esther more than all other women. It means he had many other wives. Doesn't really look like love. Well, she was sort of best of all. And she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins. And so he set the royal crown on her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. So she wasn't the first one. And then the king made a great feast, the feast of Esther, for all his officials and servants, and he proclaimed a holiday in the provinces and gave gifts according to the generosity of the king. So he had other wives, other women. But after a certain time, she says, I haven't been called for the king for 30 days. What kind of love is that? You know, honeymoon. honey year. Perhaps the king was occupied with other women. Ahasuerus wasn't a Jew, he was a Gentile, and he took her. Perhaps not by force, but sort of by force. She has no choice. And it's not written she loved him. You won't find it in the scripture that she loved him. So she wasn't called to the king for 30 days. Perhaps and probably he didn't long for her with all his heart. How come you don't see your beloved wife for 30 days? And it's like a big brother marriage. And what did she do? Being a wise woman, she paid the same. She used him. She was a real Jewish woman. She used his treasury, his strength. She used his troops, his weapons to fight for her people. And he actually didn't know much about her people. He was not up to it. Doesn't look like love, does it? And I think Esther agreed with her destiny, but she decided, I will do all to serve God Most High. And she focused on her service. And she destroyed Israel's enemies and used the king to give her new permission to extend those days to make revenge. She did her best and possible to protect her people. And he didn't really care, didn't delve into her things, into her affairs. It felt as if he was living his life and she was living hers. And today we are talking about two marriages and this big brother. The marriage of Ahasuerus with Esther, and there is a different marriage. Marriage about which it is written the following. He brought me to the banqueting house, and his banner over me is love. Banqueting house is no casting. He brought her into the banqueting house, and his banner over me is love. Do you hear this? There's something different than the casting that Ahasuerus had with Esther. It was a banqueting house. Sustain me with cakes of raisins, refresh me with apples, for I am lovesick. And this is the marriage of Shulamite with the Bridegroom Jesus, the marriage of Israel with the Messiah. And what happened in the time of David? It was love. What happened in the times of the true prophets? It was love that flared up and went out, but it was love. But what is happening today is Ahasuerus, who is owning Esther because she has no other choice. You have ravished my heart, my sister, my spouse. Ahasuerus never said such words to Esther. You have ravished my heart with one look of your eyes, with one link of your necklace. We don't hear such words from Ahasuerus. He was not capable of it. He had other wives, and many. And she replies, my beloved is mine, and I am his. If it were so, he would have dealt in all her affairs, and he would make all her enemies his enemies, but he considered that her affairs, and he was engaged in revenge, but he was paying for everything that had to be paid. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine, and he feeds his flock among the lilies. There are 60 queens and 80 concubines and virgins without number, but my dove, my perfect one, is the only one of her mother, the favorite of the one who bore her. The daughters saw her and called her blessed, the queens and the concubines, and they praised her. I belong to my friend, and his desire is towards me. Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your arm, for love is as strong as death. Jealousy is cruel as the grave, its flames are flames of fire, a most vehement flame. Many waters cannot quench love, nor can the floods drown it. If a man would give for love all the wealth of his house, it would be utterly despised. The second marriage that I expect, and I believe the prophets expect, the Lord expects, is the marriage of Christ and the Shulamite. He loved her to death. Ahasuerus did not love Esther to death. He would never give his life for her. And she also loved him to death. That's why she wrote, "Love is as strong as death." And this marriage of Ahasuerus with Esther, as I saw this picture, is very expensive behind the glass. Many masterpieces had no glass in this museum. Millions of dollars for those paintings, but this one was behind the glass. And we spoke on this, that she doesn't look happy. She doesn't hug him, but she protects herself. Do you see her statue? She's squeezed and she is holding her with power. And around them, some weird people. They're not like Israelites. They are like Egyptians. And I went down to the garden of nuts to see the verdure of the valley, to see whether a vine had budded and the pomegranates had bloomed. And today pray that the bridegroom returns for Shulamite. May God bless us. This is very serious. And today we raise the prayer for Israel so that the Shulamite finds her bridegroom, that she makes it to wait and doesn't give herself to sin. She doesn't give herself to anyone else. And she remains faithful to him until death, until this bridegroom, the beloved one, comes into his vineyard. As for Esther, this is very powerful. Remember this. She uses Ahasuerus, but she doesn't love him because she was made not for Ahasuerus, but for her bridegroom, the true one who will give his life for her.